Hey everyone, my name's Jonathan Lindsay. Let's talk about the Cycle Frontier. So Closed Beta 2, it's been finished since April the 25th. It ran for 6 weeks. It was intense. We learned a lot. It was great watching all of the content on Twitch and YouTube. It was great to see that we had over 600,000 players join it. Many things went well. We were very happy about the improvements that we made in terms of the audio visual, how smooth it is to play, and the animations. There's many areas that we're pretty happy about, but there are kind of 3 clusters of issues, if you like. The first one, too punishing, too unfair. The second one is about stability and performance. The third issue is kind of a catch-all of onboarding and other kind of UX issues. So too punishing and unfair. The first major issue here is cheating. We knew this was going to be a problem in a free-to-play game, and we had done quite a lot in preparation for it, but not enough. To kind of try to sum it up, there's many different things we've done, but we've put a lot more effort into detection and into a very crucial thing. It might sound a bit mundane, but it's setting up the process for community management, tech, and BattlEye to work really smoothly together, so that when a cheater is detected, that we can respond really rapidly. It won't eliminate this problem. This problem is just something that's part of multiplayer games, certainly multiplayer shooters. But how quickly we can react to it and how hard we make it into cheat in our game is really crucial, and we see it as an ongoing effort. Another issue is the gear power disparity. We've rethought it, and we feel like we need to move to a logarithmic curve rather than a linear one. So you'll notice big increases in power at the start, going from grey to green. But then later on, it's more about min-maxing. It's just small incremental improvements. So this kind of squishes the power curve. It's a hard thing to get right, but we believe that having a power curve for gear is important, and we think this is a better version. A hot button issue in the community and here in the team as well is solo versus squad. So these are solos, duos, and trios that we put into one match together. So to give some context, we look a lot at survival games, and we believe that this is the right approach for us to mix these all together. We think it adds a lot to the tense uncertainty. You're never quite sure, is that person alone or not? But we do realize it can be unfair, and we've been thinking about how we can square this circle. It's a really difficult one. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving to like a bucket approach with our matchmaking, or like brackets, so that you have kind of broader range of different types of matches, but within reason. We're not sure exactly how many of these buckets we'll have, but it won't be many. We think we're going to have to just iterate on this. Matchmaking is really hard to get right. Another problem is spawn killing. This is incredibly frustrating. That's a bit of a whoops on us. I think we just got the loading sequence a little bit wrong, and we loaded players or made players visible to other players before they were fully loaded. So there's a problem if you're not on an SSD, for example. So we've changed it now that you won't get the drop pod sequence until you're fully loaded into the game. The other issues we had was about player density and just bugs that caused too many players in a match and caused too many players to be spawned where there were already plenty of players. And those bugs have been fixed and won't reoccur. So the last thing when it comes to too punishing, too unfair, is something that really impacts new players more than anything. It's just how hard the PvE is in a game. And there's a couple of things. It's first of all, how fast they get aggro, how quickly they react. Like, you think you're stealthing them well, and then Jeff sees you somehow with Sixth Sense, and yeah, you're running. We think we can fix that by adding a kind of investigation state to the AI, so you have a little grace period before they really see you. And the other thing we think we can do is just don't have them chase you quite so far. I think this will be in a much better place for release. So the next cluster of issues is stability and performance. We had problem dealing with the scale. We had 16,000 concurrent players, and we were not able to deal with that. So we've had to do a lot of work to make sure our infrastructure can handle the load. It's kind of a nice problem to have, but still, it's one we really need to get right. Another couple of issues that are actually related to the issue I just talked about: network disconnects and progression resets. They happen quite frequently actually in closed beta at the start because of this load that we could not handle. And some of our technology for our database kind of became very flaky, and then you'd all of a sudden find your progression gone, or you'd be kicked out of a match. So that's solved now, thanks to the improvements to our scalability. And the last issue is performance. Well, some players were able to play on CB1 on their, often a gaming laptop, and they were not able to get the same performance in CB2, and that was obviously very disappointing for them and for us. So we've done a deep dive, and we did find a couple of major kind of worst offenders, and we've been working hard to solve those. The last bucket of issues we call onboarding and other issues, kind of a catch-all. So one of the big issues here is new player onboarding and how they've not been sheltered. So that's something we want to change. We want to make sure that as players are learning the game, they're not being punished too much, so they're not being put into the same population as the experienced players. Another interesting one is only 14% of players actually find the sell feature. So being able to sell items that you find down on the planet's surface is critical to your economy, as all good players will know. It's really on us to make sure that in the onboarding that the sell feature is introduced and that people understand how important it is. So we want to get that 14% way up to above 50%. So that means we'll include it in our onboarding. Another set of issues that has been incredibly annoying for people during closed beta 2 is the friends list and the fact that it doesn't work. This was due to some underlying technical issues that we've solved, and we think this should be fine for release. We understand that people really want to be able to play with their friends. So the closed beta finished in April the 25th, and since then we've been very, very busy working on the issues that I've just been detailing. We are pretty far along in that process, and we're confident that we're getting very close to being able to release the game. I can't spill the beans yet of when exactly that will be, but it will be soon, and we'll be announcing the release date soon enough. So please be patient, please bear with us. The main thing is that we don't want to just rush this out in a state that we are not so happy with. And we want to make sure that we're happy with it and that you're super happy with it. So thanks all for your interest, and I can't wait to see you down on Fortuna 3.